I'm sure you have wondered how expensive it is to hire an immigration attorney to put together your EB-2 NIW or EB-1A green card petition. In this video, you're going to see many real examples of how much they charge. But before we start, hi, my name is Oscar. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a scientist. And in this channel, we talk about green cards like EB-2 NIW or EB-1A in which you can self-petition. And that means that you don't need to have a job offer, a company sponsoring you. And yes, you don't need to have a lawyer. That's the topic that we're going to discuss today. You don't need to have a lawyer, but I know many of you are considering to have an attorney. So it's important that we also create a little bit of content for you, for those of you who don't want to do a do-it-yourself petition, or you are thinking about both options and trying to compare. And in order to compare, you need to talk about money. You need to know how much you're going to spend. And this is a follow-up video from our recent video that you can see here on the screen, where we talk about all the costs associated with a green card petition, EB-2 NIW, EB-1A. Okay, so go to that video if you want to see the breakdown of all the costs. Today we're going to really focus on the attorneys, how much you should expect to pay for different popular options in terms of immigration law firms. So we're going to see some examples. I have a previous video where I tell you how to evaluate them, how you should ask certain questions to them, key information that you need to know before you go with them. And we will talk about that video at the end of today's video, so you have the full picture and all the resources that you deserve. But before we start, a couple of disclaimers. The most important one is about me, okay? I hate to see content made by people where they are not transparent, and I don't want to be like that. So let's talk about conflict of interest, or conflict of interest ? My name is Oscar, you know me. I have this YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel with Marina in Spanish, and we have different websites where we create content for people like you who want to take the immigration future into their own hands, doing a do-it-yourself petition. That means, in our opinion, without hiring a lawyer. And since today we are going to talk about that different route, hiring lawyers, I want to let you know, in case you didn't know, that we have a lot of free content, but we also charge for some of our content. If you go to my websites, you will see that the product I prefer, the most comprehensive product we offer for do-it-yourself, is my online course. And because I earned some money with those courses, it is important that I tell you that upfront. Even before you decide if you want to continue watching this video, you should know that everything that I will say, I say it as someone that has set up a company, that is making money, that is also paying taxes out of that, but importantly, that I have some sort of business related to green cards, okay? So with that being said, let's move on to and by the way, that doesn't mean that I hate lawyers, okay? And that's another important disclaimer. I don't hate lawyers. I like some of the lawyers. I don't like some of them as well, but that's all based on petitions I have seen, real petitions from clients that come for help. Some of them come with a very strong petition, and I like those lawyers, and some of them come with petitions that really suck, and it really makes my blood boil because they paid a lot of money, like we are going to see in today's range of attorney fees, okay? Again, I have nothing personal against lawyers. I think lawyers represent an interesting choice for some of you who think that you don't see yourself doing a do-it-yourself petition. And that's fine. I respect that. I have nothing against that, okay? So, more disclaimers. I cannot possibly talk about all lawyers. There are thousands of lawyers in the US, and there are boutique lawyers that I don't have information for, that may even give you a better or more personal experience. Today I'm going to talk about popular lawyers, and that generally means big law firms, okay? Law firms that we all know in this space, and we're going to cover the cost in terms of the I-140 legal fees. Remember that this process has two main phases. The I-140 step goes first, and then adjustment of status if you're in the US, or consular processing if you are abroad. we're going to cover the I-140 step is the more difficult one, is the most expensive one also for lawyer fees. And we are not going to talk about USCIS fees or other costs because we have a video talking about all of that, all right? So also, when you see that I'm giving an exact number on screen, that means that their website provides that number publicly. And when that doesn't happen, I'm going to use my own intel and information that is available in public forums that I actually use several confirmations to put a range. You will see that we are going to have on the left side, we're going to see a thermometer with increasingly expensive lawyer fees as we go on today's episode. And when you see that I'm only providing information on the thermometer, that means that the information is not public and I'm giving you a good estimate, okay? But if you are interested on hiring that particular office, the best thing you can do is reach out to them. I will also leave the website so you can go directly to them, request a consultation, and get a quotation, a quote directly from this lawyer. I don't endorse any specific law firms. You will hear me talking well about one of them because I do like them based on what I've seen, and that's important, direct observation. I don't endorse any of them. I just put them here because they are popular and you will encounter them when you start doing research, okay? Very important. Nobody's paying me to be in this video, okay? Maybe they don't even want to be in this channel. So very important, no affiliation whatsoever with these people. Okay, there's one example that I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you 9 prices for lawyers. One of them, the last one, is not a legal office, and I did that because I want you to see that sometimes it is important to read the fine print, and you will find out that maybe some offices that look like lawyers, they are not lawyers, okay? And they are not even cheap. All right. So with that being said, a quick recap where we stand in the whole process. This is an example for one person doing adjustment of status and I-140. And you see that if you choose to hire a lawyer, what I was saying in that episode where we were talking about all the costs in the process, we were saying $5,000 to $15,000 if you hire a lawyer just in legal fees. Okay. So that's a lot of money because the overall cost, if you hire a lawyer, will go from $7,000 to $18,000, and you can see that $5,000 to $15,000 is a huge proportion of how much you can expect to pay. So, by the way, I'm going to say a lot of things in this video. I'm going to give you a lot of information. Leave a comment below if you know something that I didn't say, or you had experience with one of these offices yourself and you're happy or unhappy, whatever it is, leave a comment. Even if you want to correct me, that's fine as well. Leave a comment, and that's what makes these YouTube videos more interesting, to hear from you, to share information, okay? So let's start with law firm number 1. This one has a couple of different names, and we're going to see that in a couple of different examples. In the past, they used to be known as the Dunn law firm. I guess that's the person that started the office. Now they are called the Arkell immigration team, and their website is nationalinterestwaivers.com. All right. We started here because out of the most popular lawyers, these ones are the least expensive ones. So you see that the thermometer is now relatively low, but we're already starting at almost $4,000. And remember, this is legal attorney fees only, not included USCIS, not including anything else in the process, not even including adjustment of status, okay? They offer free consultations, and that is something very common. We're going to see that in most of these law firms. And they are said to have very fast communication from paralegals. Okay, so let's stop here a second. What are paralegals? Okay, so when you hire one of these, you are not going to be talking with lawyers all the time. In fact, you may talk with lawyers once or twice, and the rest of your interactions will be with their assistants. They, the paralegals, are legally trained, or are trained in legal issues, so they know how to put together paperwork, how to prepare things for the lawyers to finish up your case. Okay, so it is very important that these offices have fast turnaround when it comes to email, for example. If you send an email with a question, it is important that they reply fast. So when you're shopping for lawyers, it's important that you know if the paralegals are going to be responsive or not, all right? That's one of the tips that we gave in our other video about lawyers. These ones are only set to take academic or research profiles. That means people with papers and citations. And you will see that this is common in the popular lawyer world, okay? Especially those that are not very expensive. And the reason for that is that, let's be honest, it's easier to put together an EB-2 NIW or EB-1A green card petition if you have published, if you have been cited, because it's easy to demonstrate that you have had broader impacts in your field or in society, that you have created something, you have innovated, and people are using your work. You have been influential in your field. So not surprisingly, in a time where there's a lot of demand for these green card preparation services, not surprising that certain of these law firms, they prefer to take these cases, or directly they are only taking these kind of profiles. Nationalinterestwaivers.com, the Arkell immigration team, they also take some cases with a refund option, and that is also common in some of these offices. That means that if they file your EB-2 NIW and they fail, and USCIS denies your petition, they will give the attorney fees back to you. For this specific example, they would give you almost $4,000 back, or they would refile it again until they get it approved. Okay, not everyone does that. We're going to see examples where they do, examples where they don't, but some of them they do offer. Now it's increasingly popular, and that's why they are more picky with the types of profiles they want to accept. All right, so we are now below $5,000 for immigration attorney fees. Let's move to 5,000 or near 5,000 because we don't have the exact number for this one. It's not public, but let's go with North America Immigration Law Group or Chen Immigration, which, by the way, the name comes from Victoria Chen, which is the lead attorney or the founder, and they have a third name, which is wegrind.com, the name of their website, which I always thought is not a very serious website, the name of the website. But believe me, this is their website. They are legit. They are a very reputable firm, probably the most well-known firm when it comes to academic research profiles, and is the only one that you will hear me say, well, I kind of like them. Okay, I've seen a few of their petitions. They are pretty solid. Also because they only take very, very strong profiles, research profiles with a lot of citations, with a lot of publications. If you are a junior scientist, they may not take your case, okay? If you are in industry or entrepreneur, forget about it, don't even contact them, they will not take you. But if you have a strong scientist type of profile and you want a lawyer, I mean, I advocate for you to do it yourself, but if you want a lawyer, this would be a reasonable option. They also do free evaluations, and depending if you need recommendation letters or not, they will charge you a little bit more or a little bit less. And they also have the approval or refund scheme, and they actually register that name, which is interesting. For strong profiles, they will offer you that refund. So they are very confident that you will get approved. So they say, if you don't, then we'll issue a refund for this approximately $5,000. All right, very interesting option for academic profiles. Third one is Raju Law, which is this guy. You probably know him because he has a pretty popular YouTube channel that you can follow. I leave the handle here. And they are charging for NIW I-140s $5,000. This is public in their website, and that price includes letter of recommendation and RFP. And here we are going to make another break, because another important point that you need to know is that some of these offices include RFP assistance. That means that if you get a request for evidence from USCIS, they may help you without charging you more money. Most of them, they won't. If you get an RFP, they will probably charge you more to reply to that RFP. So it is very important that you know in advance if this is included or not. Raju Law for EB-2 NIW, they do include that RFP assistance, but for EB-1A, They charge a little bit more, 7,000, and it includes letter of recommendation, but they don't say anything about RFE, so most likely they don't include that, okay? So that's why you really need to ask the right questions when you are talking with these people. They also do free profile evaluations, something that you really need to take advantage of, okay? Instead of asking me in YouTube, do I qualify? Go and talk with one of, or more than one of these lawyers and see what they think about your profile. All right, so we are still at the $5,000 mark, and now we're going to move to Weber Arredondo Oya Law Firm. They used to be called, or he used to be called Weber Law Firm because we're talking about Robert Weber. Someone that I follow on LinkedIn that I really recommend you follow him too because he publishes pretty interesting stuff that is worth reading about immigration, of course. And now he included 2 other attorneys, that's why the name has changed. And he takes cases beyond research. This is important. We were talking about how some of these law firms, they only take very academic, research-oriented profiles with publications, citations. Weber is one of those that is a little bit more open and may take other cases as well, all right? So we surpassed the $5,000 mark, and now we go with Ellis Porter, also very, very well known, and we're going to see them twice, okay? Because they have different pricing for research and non-research profile. Their website, highskilledImmigration.com. They are charging $7,000 for NIW for researchers. And yes, this is shown in their website. They do offer free evaluations. And they also offer EB-1As for $12,000 if you are a researcher. So quite a bit more expensive than NIW. They do offer refunds if denied for strong cases as well. And like I said, very, very popular option out there. You probably heard this name, Ellis Porter or EP, if you are in some sort of Facebook or WhatsApp group or whatever it is, okay? So we're talking a lot about attorneys, but remember that I'm not about attorneys, I'm about do it yourself. So if you are still thinking about it or you already decided, you want to do it yourself because you cannot afford these prices, then go to eb1greencard.info for EB1A or EB2NIW.info for EB2 NIW, also in Spanish and in Portuguese. This is a new edition, EB2NIW.pt, where we have a lot of resources for people like you, people that want to take their future into their own hands. They don't want to pay a lot of money, they want to put time and effort to craft their green card petition. And out of all the resources that we have, what I recommend is that you check out our online courses, because in these courses that have been crafted directly by me and maintained and updated all the time, we show you all the tricks and tips that we can give you. Okay, here on screen you have the EB2 NIW course curriculum that has 10 modules, and each module has a bunch of video lessons that you cannot find anywhere else. We show you how to craft your cover letter, your recommendation letters, your business or professional plans. You can access discounts with our partners. You can submit questions about the process in each lecture. And once a month, we meet in a live session where we see each other face to face, and you can also ask me questions. So the question that I have for you is, what are you waiting for? You should join me and Marina in this awesome green card course that will cost you only a fraction of what a lawyer will charge you, of course. All right, so let's continue with law firm number 6, and that is Waypoint Immigration. Now we are crossing the 7,000 mark. We are at $7,800 for NIW, and that is published on their website. And they also have an option for EB1A for $10,000. And in case you are wondering who these people are, maybe you know Amber Davis. She has been very active online recently. She has an interesting LinkedIn profile. She has an Instagram and YouTube channels, and you can also find them in waypointimmigration.org. One thing that I find as a little bit of a red flag is that they offer an online course, but it doesn't have to do with our course. In our course, we show you how to do the whole thing by yourself, but they are lawyers. They will not do that because otherwise they don't have business. What they do is a profile building course. That means that if you think that you are not there yet in terms of qualifications. They give you ideas on how to strengthen your case. But the red flag is because they are very expensive, more than $2,500 for an online course, which is more than 10 times what we charge to show you everything about EB2 NIW or EB1A. So, but that's just my opinion again. Remember, I have some bias here because I do have a pretty awesome course to offer to you. So this is another popular option, Waypoint Immigration, Amber Davis and her team. So let's move on to our law firm number 5, because we go back to Ellis Porter. Remember, I told you they have 2 different prices. They charge $7,000 for researchers, and for non-researchers, they charge you $15,000, which is pretty much, well, it is more than double what they charge for the other option. Doing a case for a researcher is easier. So this is the way they acknowledge that. And they are saying, if you don't have that profile, fine, we'll take you, but we're going to charge you a lot more. $15,000 is a lot of money. And by the way, there are even more expensive lawyers, okay? Moving on to Colombo Hurd. You may have seen them all the time online because they are, again, very popular in YouTube. They have a channel mostly in Spanish, and they spend a lot of money in ads. This is the guy, Mr. Colombo. He has ads in Google, in Facebook. I don't know about Instagram, but for sure in YouTube. They spend a lot of money, and maybe that's the reason why they are so expensive, about also 15K or even more. They do free evaluations, and they do take profiles from all disciplines. And that is an important point, because many of you who cannot access Chen or Ellis Porter low pricing, you will be able to access Colombo and Hurd, and they will make you pay for it. Okay, they will get people from all disciplines. I had many clients that came to me after hiring Colombo and Hurd, and one of their complaints is that it was so expensive. I mean that's how it is. They are heavily focused on Spanish-speaking customers, but they are open to all. They also have some information in Portuguese, and for sure they speak English as well. And finally, D4U. D4U Immigration, you can find them in d4uimmigration.com. Also heavily focused on Spanish and Portuguese speakers. In fact, I believe they come from Brazil, if I'm not wrong. And they are also very popular in YouTube. Many people get to them through YouTube. They offer refunds to some cases, which Colombo does not. That's something that I didn't say. Colombo does not offer any refund scheme, at least as of now. But even if they get people from all disciplines as Colombo, a red flag for me is that they are not a law firm. Colombo is a law firm. Colombo is a lawyer in the US. But these people, and this is something I learned from one of my clients that was not very satisfied by this. They told me, look, they are not a law firm. And when you go to their website, if you read the fine print, you will see D4U is not a law firm and does not practice law in the state of Florida. This means that some services protections like attorney-client privilege may be different from those you could get from a law firm. So to me, this is a red flag, because if we go back, you will see the price tag is about 15K. Again, you should get a quote from them if you are interested. And that kind of money, considering that they are not lawyers, it's a little bit insane, in my opinion. Imagine that we start preparing cases, which, by the way, we don't, and we don't plan in the short term doing that. But imagine if suddenly I come back next week and I say, look, Oscar will prepare your case. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a regular guy that knows a little bit about this. I will do it for you. I will charge you 15 or 20K. Do you think that's ethical? I don't think so, and that's why we're not doing it. But for someone out there to charge this amount of money, yeah, they have a tiny disclaimer there, but I don't like that, okay? I really don't like this kind of, this is not a scam for sure, because they are saying it, but this is not as transparent as I would like it to be. Again, the market is the market. If people pay it, so be it. But just so you know, they are not a law firm, and that's really important. Now, one more note about scams is Colombo Hurd, I saw some fake Facebook profiles out there. So Colombo and Hurd, they are very expensive. They are at the top of what we're going to see today. But if you hire them, you are hiring a lawyer and you are hiring them. Okay, you know them, you chose them because maybe you like their YouTube videos or you know someone that hired them and was successful. Whatever it is, you go with them, is your decision. But be careful with Facebook profiles that are posing as Colombo and they are not Colombo, because that's an outright scam. Colombo has no fault here, okay? It's not their fault that they are doing that. I mean, maybe they could be a little more diligent communicating with Facebook that this is happening, but definitely this is a scam that has nothing to do with Colombo, but I have seen it repeatedly. So please, please, please be careful with fake profiles. Always go directly to the real website from these people. Verify that you are in the right place before making any payment. All right. So conclusions from today is that we have seen a few examples of lawyer fees. We have seen that numbers are all over the place. You can find things for $5,000 up to $15,000, and I have seen them go as high as $20K. So make sure you do your research very well, that you ask the right questions. And if you need ideas on how to do that, I have a video that you can watch where we go over the questions you should ask, what kind of evaluation you should do before hiring a lawyer. And especially, please, please, please stay away from scams, okay? If you want to hire a lawyer and spend a lot of money, fine, I respect that, but don't pay a scammer, okay? Don't pay anyone posing as a lawyer, anyone that has no credentials, anyone that doesn't have a clue of how you should do this process. All right, so I hope you found this video interesting. As usual, thank you so much for subscribing, from following us, from sharing. Go to our Instagram, talk to your neighbor, whatever it is. Join our course if you are interested in do it yourself. And we will see you next week here or in our YouTube channel in Spanish with Marina. And especially, I would like to end with good luck in your EB2 NIW or EB1A green card journey. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.